from in a bygone day.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Horny Creek. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It is January 19th, 2000.
It is.
How you feel about 2000? You getting used to it? You getting used to not being in the 1900s anymore?
Not at all, and it's very weird writing the date.
A new century, a new millennium.
Yeah. It's weird.
Like Will Smith says.
It's kind of cool that we get to, I guess be here for it.
Yeah, it's interesting times, right?
Right?
But speaking of interesting times, Carol, a somewhat non-interesting episode.
What? I didn't think so.
No, it's a decent episode, but okay, so obviously we watched Horny Creek, Dawson's Creek. They didn't actually change the name for us. Weekend in the Country, and it's one of those episodes where sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not as good. I think this one's pretty good. But it's one of those episodes where it makes it a little more difficult for us to talk about it, I think, because it's one of those episodes where everyone's doing one activity and they're all together. There are no separate storylines going on. Everyone's there all together.
But they have their own, motivations and things they're working on.
I understand that they're different characters, yes.
No, I'm just saying there's different things to discuss. It's not like one thing happened to them and that's it and end of story. I mean,
it's a little different though when they're all together though. I kind of like when they're doing their own separate things. Don't you? When there's an A story and a B story, this is all A story.
Yeah, I guess. Actually, no. I'm just agreeing with you to change the subject. I don't.
She doesn't agree with me, folks.
Don't think that it matters.
Oh my God, trouble in paradise.
So yeah, as Mark mentioned, they're all together, but it doesn't start out that way.
I mean, kind of. Suddenly, it's Joey's dead mom's dream to always have opened a bed and breakfast.
So I didn't even remember that that's what they were doing. Did you?
No, this seems to come out of nowhere. I thought they were rebuilding the whatever the fuck it was called.
That's the ice box or something.
Yeah, the
ice house.
Ice house. Yeah. Icebox once again is the character from Little Giants.
But yeah, so they used to own a restaurant, and it burned down because of her dad's drug dealings. And yeah, Pacey was doing all the work, trying to, rebuild, and we thought that's what was happening. But instead, they turned their home into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't understand.
Wasn't the restaurant a whole separate place from their home?
Yes.
So why was there construction going on there? And now the business is their home.
I don't know. It makes no sense to me. I was thrown completely off guard.
Okay. I'm glad I wasn't alone in my confusion.
And that is their house, right?
Yes.
They didn't just build a house to be a bed and breakfast.
I mean, I don't,
on the site of the old restaurant.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it was their house. I don't know. They stayed there.
Yeah. Yeah, they did not leave.
Now you say we don't start there. Where do we start? I thought we started at
they're not all there in the beginning.
Residence Day Potter, and we stay at Residence Day Potter.
Yeah, but they're not all there in the beginning. So
this is like a bottle episode.
It is, yeah. But Joey is complaining about how the bed and breakfast that they have created is never going to take off.
They've been open for a day.
Yeah, they're never going to have any customers, and it was such a stupid idea, and blah, blah, blah.
She is such a sourpuss. Mm-hmm. Like, she annoys the hell out of me sometimes.
She was pretty annoying in this episode. And, at one point, the phone rings, and she jumps up all excited, thinking that they're getting a call from a customer. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, as a matter of fact, I'm very happy with my long-distance provider.
Exactly. AT&T or MCI or whatever.
And then, I think it's the next day, actually. I think, yeah. Pacey...
Oh, they start... That's the other thing. They start out watching The Big Chill.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen that movie. So.
It's as people say, it's the ultimate boomer movie. It's a good movie, though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the movie where Glenn Close wants to have a baby or whatever, and, like, she doesn't have a man or whatever, so Kevin Kline's wife is like, fuck Glenn Close, our friend, in the bedroom there. And he does.
Wow, that's...
To try to impregnate her, to give her a baby.
When you started talking and you were talking about the story and the name of the movie is Big Chill, I thought it was like a sperm donation situation.
That's not the overarching plot. That's just one subplot of the movie.
Okay.
But I didn't spoil the movie for you, I don't think. But it's kind of fucked up. But there's... Yeah, it's a very interesting movie. I think you'd like it. It's a good movie. Even though it is a boomer movie, I guess.
But Joey's talking about how much that movie sucks because it's so idealistic and everybody's dancing in the kitchen. Nobody dances
in the kitchen. Who dances in the kitchen?
Nobody does that.
Everyone just says how much they hate their life in the kitchen. And they answer the phone like a bitch in the kitchen.
At least in the Potter house.
Oh, my God. We finally get a mention of Bodhi again.
Yeah.
I was like... I have brought up several times, where is their fucking kid, and where is her... I guess that's not her husband, boyfriend, father of the baby. Where is he?
Well, I think he took a job at a restaurant in New York. I feel like that was what we were told. Yeah, I just remember him rowboating away from the fucking creek or whatever. He was like Chuck, Richie's older brother that ascends the stairs at the end of season 1 and is never seen or heard from again in Happy Days. Oh, my God.
But they actually mentioned him in this episode, and I was like, oh, my God, we get a mention of Bodhi.
Yeah. So the next day, Pacey says to Joey, hey, I got this fantastic...
I hooked you the fuck up.
To come and review your bed and breakfast.
Yeah, the most influential bed and breakfast critic in the country.
And she's furious and freaking out, which, like, I get because they haven't had a single customer, so how are they ready to be reviewed?
Yeah. We're not ready. Everything's not up and running yet.
She's like, you want to do it. You fix it now.
So he tries to, but the guy's there already.
Yeah. Too late. And then...
That's what he says. He comes in and he's like, too late!
I'm sorry, guys. I got a little tickle in my throat here.
Yeah.
But then she's like, he's our only guest, whatever. And suddenly people are streaming in as their guests. They've got...
Well, yeah, because they set it up.
Yeah, of course.
Well, and I think it's
Pacey did it all.
Yeah.
Pacey set it all up
because
for her.
Pacey's in love with Joey.
Obviously.
That's what's going on, because at one point Dawson's all like, hey, thanks for taking care of Joey like I told you to. And he looks at his fingers and he's like, well, I haven't taken care of the way I want to yet. But but he's like, oh, no problem, Dawson. This means you're a good person. Fucking Dawson says, and he's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing it, not to get laid, because I'm a good person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the way the episode ends, which we'll get to, definitely nails the coffin there.
But yeah, so the first people that come in are Jack and...
Grams and Jen.
Yeah, Grams and Jen. Does Jen talk to that one boy again? She does. In school. Remember?
So that happens in this episode.
Yeah, I guess they're in the episode. Like,
I was right. We didn't just start here.
Well, whatever. But they're in... Real quick, though, because, yeah, we want to get back to everyone's dramatic entrance. But Grams and the two kids are like, oh, their grandmother and the two children, like... fucking whatever, reliving their memories of
Cape Side.
Like, that's the role they're playing or whatever. But yeah, at one point, we're in school, and Jen's walking down the hall and everything, and what's his name comes up? Henry comes up and starts talking to her, and he's like, hey, how about, like, a date or whatever? And she's like... Oh, Henry, we've been through this. We're just going to be friends.
And we started screaming at the television.
So fucking pissed.
Like, why? Did they film this out of order? Because what the fuck? Why is she acting like this?
Yeah, like...
We resolved this last episode.
I thought so. She was like, oh, he plays the guitar. And, like, and he's not too young for me. And I'm stupid.
And even the way he asked her out is so sweet, because he's like, oh, I did work at this restaurant, and she's like, oh, it's a fancy place, they better have paid you well. And he's like, well, yeah, they're paying me in a free meal, and I get to bring a date.
In lieu of payment, he was like, I secured a date. And she was like, oh, I told you that dates are, you're supposed to ask people
you forgot to ask me.
And it's like, he's asking you right now, you fucking stuck-up harlot.
Right? What a bitch. She pisses me off so bad.
And, like, I just don't know why she's going back. Just fuck this guy, all right? He's put in enough work. No, I just don't know why she keeps going back and forth on this.
I don't know.
But,
well, I mean, we kind of get our answer to that later, too.
We get it, yeah, and we'll talk about it, because this happens while they're at the weekend in the country or whatever.
I'm trying to remember. Shit, now I don't remember.
He shows up there.
He shows up there?
Well, sort of. Like, they talk outside. They're sitting outside.
Okay.
That's when they have the conversation. Maybe it's after she leaves there. I don't know. It's towards the end of the episode, but we'll get there. But anyway, so those three show up, and then I think... Who else is there?
Dawson's parents.
Well, and that's it? I guess that's the entire cast, right?
Well, and then, Joey and her sister are already there. Oh, and Pacey. Pacey's the handyman.
Pacey's the handyman, and Dawson's supposed to be something, I guess. I don't know. Because Dawson's there, too.
Dawson ever is really explained or given a role. I think he's just like our
the critic just walks in and he's like, oh, Dawson, of course.
Yeah, he's just like
Dawson's at every bed and breakfast I'm at.
Right.
But anyway, so, Dawson's parents show up, and it's like, oh.
Together.
In the honeymoon suites.
Yeah.
And Dawson is not happy.
He is so pissed. He's such a baby.
He really is.
I mean, like, get over yourself.
Here's the thing. He started out very immature in this at the beginning of this show. And his character has matured a lot. And there are lots of situations where it's like, oh my God, he's being like a fucking reasonable adult type person. That's interesting to see from him. But when it comes to his parents, he is still infantile.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely not an area of his life that is going well.
He at one point, he goes into their honeymoon suite. Well, that's the thing. It's like, he says to Pacey, because Pacey has set all this stuff up. He's like, Pacey, what the fuck?
Why would you do this?
Yeah, and Joey's also pissed at him. Why would you invite these people over here and stuff like that? I don't want this fucking... We're not doing this shit and everything. Like, I'm not ready for all this and stuff. And so they're both yelling at him. And Pacey's like, hey, Dawson, like, calm the fuck down. I asked Mitch to help me. I did not ask your mom. I asked Mitch to help and come be whatever, I don't know, buff guy in the... TV's The Flash, John Wesley Shipp, in the hotel or whatever, the bed and breakfast. He's like, he's the one that asked your mom.
Yeah.
And he's like, so Dawson's not mad at Pacey anymore. He quickly diverts to being mad at his parents.
At his father specifically.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Maybe this is sexist of me. But how did the dad get to be the only fucking source of anger towards this whole divorce thing? I get that the mom wanted to try to work it out, and he like half-assedly tried to work it out. He didn't really like fully go into it trying to work it out, and then eventually he was like, no, I can't do this anymore. But she's the one that cheated on him.
Yeah.
Like, they were happily married until she cheated on him.
And she cheated because she was too happy.
That's what she says.
It's so dumb.
Although we got cracks that there were other problems.
Yeah, there were other problems, obviously.
But
she just has very poor insight, I think.
Yeah, I will 100% agree. But instead of like being like, oh, mom cheated or whatever, he's like pissed at his dad because after his mom cheated, his mom wanted to be forgiven, and he kind of tried, but like he never really put the full effort into it. But the thing is some people can and some people can't.
Yeah.
Some people can get over being cheated on, and they can rationalize it, and they can, try to get better and build from there and regain trust and stuff like that. And that works for some people. And some people would never be able to get over it. And he's one of those people that apparently is not able to get over it. So, like, I don't know why he's the villain.
Yeah, I mean, he's not, like, vehemently angry with her.
Right.
He treats her nice.
Yeah.
Like, he could be way worse. He just doesn't want to share a bed with her anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually super nice to her and thinks about her a lot.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he can't be in a romantic relationship with her, which is fine.
She broke his fucking heart.
I used to want them to get back together because the two actors have good chemistry together on screen, but I'm okay with them just being divorced at this point.
And like they say to Dawson, they're friends. And that's okay.
Fine. Yeah.
But Dawson's just like, just leave each other alone and stop confusing me. And it's like, how old are you that you're confused?
Right.
Like, look at you and Joey.
Exactly.
I mean, they almost fucked, and they're friends.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with her.
He and Jen almost fucked, and they're friends.
Right? So, get over it, dude.
But anyway, so he comes and he's like rants at them or whatever, and his dad apologizes to him. Like, his dad like sits him down and he's like, "I'm sorry, son. I should be more sensitive about your needs or whatever." And it's like, maybe just tell this kid to fucking like back off and stay out of your personal life. But anyway, so he like that kind of gets resolved or whatever. The critic shows up, as you say, and it's very like everything goes wrong.
Absolutely. It's a comedy of errors, the whole episode. The bathroom floods.
Yeah.
Pacey is trying to take care of that. Mm-hmm. And something else happened while he was taking care of that. I'm trying to remember.
The furnace. The furnace goes out.
Yeah.
And he can't fix it exactly. He's trying to fix it or whatever, but he doesn't know exactly how to.
Yeah, he's a teenage high school boy. Of course he can't fix a furnace. Come on, people. I expect a little too much of him, I think.
Yeah, they should call my dad. He is a gas service person, so.
Yeah.
For the local energy provider.
So
Yeah? Oh, really? Okay.
The critic, goes out to dinner, and Joey's like...
Goes out to dinner?
Yeah, he goes out to dinner. He leaves.
He does?
Yes, he leaves. She's like, thank God, for small miracles, he went out to dinner. So they're alone in the evening.
Oh. And, okay, that's why they're alone in the evening. Okay. I don't know why I don't remember her saying that he went out to dinner, but...
And the furnace is broken, so they build a fire, which Grams, has to talk them through.
Yeah, Grams is the only one that knows how. Oh, it doesn't have a start if you put the cedar on the bottom. That's hard wood, Yeah,
she talks them through
Start with the pine. The only one that does
She sounds like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, start with the pine. No. I'll tell you, can't use oak. I don't know why, but she's the only one that strives for a New England accent in this.
Yeah. So they get the fire going, and because the furnace is broken, everybody is huddled in this room by the fire, and she's talking about how she built a fire every night for her and Jen's grandpa.
Yes.
And
it's very sweet.
Yeah, and he would read to her every night while they sat by the fire, and then he'd fall asleep.
Yeah.
She's like, and that's, love when you can pass the evening happily watching the person you love sleep.
Yeah.
By the fire.
So because Graham mentions that the hickory burning on the hearth is her favorite smell, everyone goes around and talks about what their favorite smell is. So, Dawson's is, I don't even remember how to pronounce it, but it's like phenyladenamine or something like that. It's the chemical used to process film, he says.
Yeah, that's so crazy. How could that be anybody's favorite smell?
The smell of film processing is very intense and acrid.
Ugh. Although, I like the smell of cigarettes, and that's pretty gross.
Yeah. So. But burning or not burning? You like the smell of gasoline? Mm-hmm. The fuck? You're like an arsonist.
No, I think also because it reminds me of buying cigarettes at the gas station.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go.
Addict here. Before we go further, I want to know, what is your favorite smell?
Oh, interesting. So you would say, what would you say? Cigarettes is your favorite smell? Is that what you're going with?
No, I would say actually wood burning.
Wood burning, okay. Yeah, you do love the smell of burning, like fall things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's hard. I do not have a great sense of smell. So probably something super intense. I think, honestly, I think coffee is my favorite smell.
Okay. Coffee is a really good one.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites, too.
I associate it with just, diners and, like, like late nights, early mornings, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But yeah, so yeah, Dawson's is that. Jen's is mothballs.
From hiding in the closet in the theater department of school.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, mothballs, first of all, is a disgusting scent.
Yeah, it is not good. We used to use them near our attic.
Yeah, and then poor Jen felt the need to hide in there. Like, she went to a shitty school. She's not had really people be nice to her whole life.
No, not at all. That's actually kind of like a secondary plot of this episode is how people have mistreated her. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Jax's Kickapoo juice or whatever.
It's grape Kool-Aid or something.
Yeah, it's from camp. You know how like kids will drink bug juice or whatever at camps, and stuff like that. And it's like you said, it's like Kool-Aid. It's like a bunch of different Kool-Aid flavors mixed, and they call it bug juice. It's one of those type things.
Yeah.
Because he liked the way the boys touched him at camp or something.
Come on.
Pace's is snow.
Which, like, he asked, is that even something you can smell?
Can you smell snow? Yeah, sure, they said.
And people said, yeah, but, like, really? I don't know. I mean, kind of. Yeah. There's a smell to...
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cold, like, winter has a type of some... It's a nascent almost scent, though.
But his memory that's associated with it is looking out a window at it, so you wouldn't smell it anyway, but whatever. That's his thing.
It's his thing.
It's his thing.
Andy's his new car. The new car.
What a rich girl thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like,
my dad would always rent us, and it would have to be a brand new car when we would rent the car. But it reminded me of our trips, of driving on our trips.
Because our family was all together.
Yeah, because in this episode, she keeps saying to Jack, like, Jack, you should move home. We should be a family. Like, Dad wants you back and everything. And he's like, I don't fucking care about Dad and all this. And it's so obvious that she wants him back home.
Yeah. Yep. And
Gail's is vanilla.
Because Mitch worked at a seafood restaurant and would soak his hands in vanilla before he left so they didn't smell like fish.
So they smelled like vanilla.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but yeah, she loves it. It turns her on or whatever.
I guess.
He's like, all these years later, every time I smell vanilla, I think about it.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, what, does it make you wet? Like, what is going on?
And he says, every time I smell fish, I think of you.
What was his favorite?
Mitch didn't give one.
Huh.
Joey's, which is the last one, is bacon. Because then that's where we get into, apparently, it was always her mom's goal or whatever to open a bed and breakfast, because she talks about how her mom would cook bacon and everything, and then she'd sit her down and she'd be like, yeah, we're going to make pancakes, and we're going to have bacon, and we're going to have people in our home.
Yes. Yeah, she wanted to open a bed and breakfast. Mm-hmm. It's an odd goal to me, but whatever.
But so they're having all these like really intense personal discussions and everything, and Joey gets very intense about her mom and like, I wish she was still around and everything, and like I don't want to lose the house, and this is our connection to her and everything, because like that's what she was saying to her sister. Her sister's like, I took a mortgage out on the house I'm going to take a mortgage on the house to help fund some of the repairs and stuff that we need to do.
That's how the episode started. The sister was talking to the mortgage lady, or to like the bank lady, asking for a loan, and she was like talking down to her, and apparently she was like her high school bully or something.
Yeah, and because Joey's like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? Like, we can't lose this. This house is our only connection to mom, and all this stuff and everything. And she's like, you need to, like, I'm here to take care of you. This is what I'm supposed to do or whatever. And she's like, I can take care of myself, and I'm an adult. And she's like, you want to know what being a fucking adult is? It's going to the bank to beg for a fucking loan from some rich asshole snob that looked down on you in high school. You know, like, so... Yeah, that's her only recourse is probably to take a mortgage out on the house, which is not the worst thing in the world if you don't. I mean, the fact that they own the house free and clear is very nice, but if you don't over leverage it, it's not the worst idea in the world if you're trying to fix it up to be a bed and breakfast because you want to make money out from it. I mean, I wouldn't take out $100,000 loan on the house or something, but if you took a $10,000 loan on the house or something like that, that's not super hard to pay back.
I don't think you could take a mortgage out for $10,000 though. I think it has to be like at least like 30 or 40 or something. You know, like there's a minimum.
There is a minimum. I think it might be 50.
So
there's some minimum on to get an actual mortgage. Yeah,
but I mean,
there's other things they could do. They could get like a HELOC or the home equity line of credit or something like that.
And they haven't had a steady income in a long time, so I'm sure it will feel nice to have a cushion in the bank
for sure. But anyway, so they're all talking about that and everything, and then we see the critics like standing there.
Yeah, he's come back from dinner.
It's like, hi everyone.
And she talks about Joey lets him in on the secret there that they're all her friends and family, and like she's like, we put on this fake thing for, and now her dream's never gonna get realized. And,
and so they all go to bed, and they wake up in the morning. Joey comes down in the morning, and everyone's dancing in the kitchen. I like whatever song they're playing. It's a song from The Big Chill.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's a fine song.
Just the premise bothered me.
The premise of that, we're all going to dance in the kitchen or whatever. But Joey's like, my friends love me. That's the thing, too, is like, she's so ungrateful for everyone pitching in to help her.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
But this is the first time she gets a little gratitude about it. And they sit down at the kitchen table, and the critic's there and everything. She's like, oh, you're still here, Mr. Fancy Critic. And he's like, I'll tell you what. The heat didn't work at all last night. The toilet backed up when I tried to shit or whatever. He's like, but I've never been in a warmer place because of their stories or whatever.
Right.
So they've touched his heart. It's grown 3 sizes, whatever. He's got to see a specialist. It's one of those situations where it's like all of a sudden, no, they're going to get a good review because he's going to put his reputation on the line because he feels bad or whatever. I don't know.
Well, and then Joey is all happy now, and she says, but Bessie, I got to say, these pancakes are way better than any pancakes you ever made.
Yeah, your pancakes suck ass.
And she's like, well, I guess...
They're only suitable for the bin.
She's like, well, I guess we should thank the chef then. Come on in, Bodie.
Yeah, he's just there.
Like,
inexplicably.
What? Yeah.
He's got the baby.
Did he have the baby the whole time? Because the first time I see the baby.
I don't know.
Like, what the hell?
It's so weird. He's weird. Back now?
Yeah, I guess. He's going to help with the bed and breakfast. He's going to be the cook. He's going to be the breakfast part of the bed and breakfast.
Well, there you go. It is one of the 2 important parts. The bed being the other part.
Wow. It was weird.
But other things happened. So, Jack and Andy finally have a conversation where Jack realizes, like, oh, you're the one that wants me back home.
Yeah.
And she's like, I miss my brother. And her other brother died. I mean, like, it is kind of fucked up.
And her dad's cold and busy. And so
never
she's
there.
Basically alone.
Yeah, he's, like, never there, according to her.
Yeah.
So, and the mom's gone now in some kind of sanitarium.
Institution, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that's no good for a, crazy teenage girl to be by herself.
Exactly.
She'll start talking to her dead brother again.
So Jack agrees to leave Graham's and Jen's house and to go back to live with his sister.
Yeah.
And then Jen has a conversation with Dawson. This is kind of the last story thing that we haven't really touched on. We sort of started touching on it, but Jen has a conversation with Dawson, and she's all like, what do you think, someone that has a past like me, you heard about my past and everything, and it freaked you out and stuff. It's just I'm just damaged goods or whatever, basically, is what she's saying. And Dawson's like, look, I was wrong how I reacted to it. Because he says something so sweet, and I can't remember exactly the phraseology he uses, but he was like, he says something like something about the underneath part or whatever. I don't know. But he talks about how great she is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she's a beautiful person,
and that he was so insecure. And
yeah, that insecurity was part of it, and he basically says, he's like, the way I reacted was wrong. I shouldn't have reacted that way, and that was stupid. And so they have this like heart to heart, and she's like, oh, I forgive you and everything. And then we cut to later her talking to Henry. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, we come in and she's like, and that's it, because it's all information we know, you know.
So she's like, and that's my entire sordid, history. So she's told him
all the guys she's had sex with,
all the skeletons in her closet,
all the drugs she's done, and all that stuff. And Henry's like, okay. And she's like, what do you not like? You don't look disgusted.
You're not running away.
He's like, why would I care? He's like,
this is what made you who you are.
Yeah, he's like, I'm grateful because all the stuff that you went through made you who you are now. So, whatever, I don't care.
Yep.
He's like the most secure person ever. She keeps talking about how immature he is, and he keeps just showing he's way more mature than any of the rest of them.
Right? So I think they're going on their date now.
We'll see. I mean, like, she did say not no.
Yeah. Not no.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully that's the next episode. And hopefully she's not just like, they're not at the date and be like, oh, but we're just friends, Henry. If she fucks this kid over, I'm going to be so pissed. Not that they have to end up together or whatever, but like, he has been nothing but sweet as pie to her, and she has not given him one even bit of a chance. And she keeps fucking yanking his chain. Mm-hmm. So,
because she loves his attention.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that she actually gives this a real chance.
Yeah, me too.
But that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where they can find their own bed and breakfast.
So you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
But we do not run a bed and breakfast.
We do not. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye.